Hey everyone, I wanted to talk today about Gears of War Tactics and why it's so awesome. If you're not familiar, Gears of War Tactics is a turn-based Gears of War strategy game. It's currently only available on PC. It's exclusive to that platform. It's available on Windows 10 Game Pass and Steam. And I gotta tell you, I was a little concerned about this game when I saw the trailers. I didn't really understand what the whole deal of it was going to be, especially since it was turn-based. I thought a Gears of War RTS would make more sense, but I played this today, and I gotta tell you, I love it. I think it's a great, great game, and I think it actually works really well in the Gears universe of the different types of units and areas and environments. It just flows really well, and I think it's a really good extension of that series, kind of like how RTS worked really well with Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2. I gotta tell you, this game has an excellent tutorial. It's really easy to pick up if you've never played a turn-based game before. I know a lot of people who've played XCOM will see a lot of similarities here. I've actually never played XCOM, so I can't speak to that. But it has an excellent tutorial. It's really easy to pick up. You can kind of really figure out how the dynamics of the game work, how you do your turns, how you do your reloads, spend your action points, all of those sorts of things it teaches you very early on. And at first you're kind of confused, like, oh, why do you do this or why do you do that? But after a few missions, it's really coming together and you're like, wow, this is really, really cool. It can be challenging yet not annoying. So there are some turns where a hole will come up out of the ground and the locusts will spawn that way, or they drop off a reaver that's flying by and the locust can then spawn and then attack in the same turn, and you may not have line of sight of where the opponent is, and it may seem a little unfair because they can run over and start doing melee attacks or close range attacks, and it causes a lot of damage. But other than that, there's really no annoying parts of the game. There's a lot of challenging areas where you have to beat missions in a certain amount of turns, or you need to control a certain area for a certain amount of turns. It's not simple skirmishes over and over again. It seems like each mission has something a little different that adds something to this game, and I can really appreciate that. And you can tell the design went into these sorts of missions, and it really shows. It's great. There's also upgrades for your characters. You can upgrade a ton in this game. You can upgrade the color of your pants. You can change your armor pieces. You can even change people who you recruit on your team. You can change their name, their hair color, their tattoos, the pattern on the weapons, and your armor. And on top of all of that, there's crates that you can acquire in the game that give you weapon attachments and new gear that can add ability buffs or abilities or passive abilities to use in a match. And that's really cool. At first, it was really overwhelming. Like, wow, I can customize everything from the color of my pistol all the way down to the tattoos that my character has. It's really interesting, but once you start unlocking everything and start messing around with it, it really makes a lot of sense. You also have skill trees for each of your characters, and those skill trees in themselves can seem overwhelming, but once you start getting some of your abilities and you start using them in your campaign matches, you're like, wow, this stuff is so cool. And you can kind of mix and match the people on your team, and you can kind of almost stack abilities depending on how well your team dynamic is. And that is just really neat. That's something I've never really experienced in a game before. And I don't know if XCOM has something that's similar to this sort of customization, but it's really, really deep. And there's also a great opportunity here for microtransactions, but I was really surprised. There's no microtransactions in this game. I don't know if they're going to be added later. I hope not, but I got to tell you, with these crates, I thought, oh great, we're opening crates. You know what that means? They're going to start asking us to pay $1 per crate or something. But no, these crates you acquire in the skirmish or in the campaign missions, in your various skirmishes. You can acquire a crate by going to a certain spot in the map, and then you get your gear, and it's as simple as that. You don't have to pay any extra. You just have to go and spend the time and modify your strategy a little bit to get to the location of where the crates are. And they're not really out of the way. They're easily acquirable in all of the levels. The campaign is also really lengthy. I've been playing the campaign for about 5 hours now, and I'm still in the first act. I'm about to finish Act 1, Chapter 6. I'm unsure of how many chapters there are per act or how many acts there are in total. But if it's taken me 6 hours just to do 5 levels, I think this game is going to be somewhere between 30 and 40 hours to complete. And that's incredible. And I think it's because of the design of this game. There is no co-op, there is no online multiplayer, and there is no skirmish. The only game mode you can play in this game is campaign. And for someone who's never played a game like this before, I was pretty upset about that. I was like, come on, really? Is there only one game mode? But once you dive in, you'll really start to understand how all this works, and it makes a lot of sense that they spent all of their time on this. And I'm hoping that with the success of this game, I know it's one of the top sellers on Steam at the moment. I don't know how well that's going to hold at that position, but I'm hoping we can see some expansion packs maybe in the future that will add more campaigns. So once you defeat the final boss, or beat the campaign, whatever it is, that you don't have to do New Game Plus or just start the campaign over again in order to continue progressing. Maybe they'll add another campaign or expansion pack so you can continue this experience. And maybe they will eventually add skirmish. I'm not entirely sure, but so far, I love it. It's on Game Pass, so if you're still curious, kind of on the fence, there's a lot of deals on Game Pass. You can sign up for $1, or you can change your gold. I think there's still the deal. You can upgrade your Xbox Live Gold to Game Pass Ultimate for $1. That's what I did. So I got like a year of Game Pass for $1. So I've been playing things like The Outer Worlds, Gears Tactics, Gears 4. Game Pass has incredible value. We all know that. But if you're unsure of the $60 price tag, which is kind of steep for a game with only one mode, but the length, I think, speaks to that. And I think once you understand how long this game really is, I think that's justifiable in the price, but just barely. Barely willing to pay $60 for this game. But if you have Game Pass, it's a must-play, and I highly encourage you to check it out. It's not on Xbox yet. I'm unsure if there is an Xbox port coming, but I think this will work great on Xbox. There's really no reason why this should only be on PC. Maybe it's on PC because they need to spend more time on the Xbox port. I don't know, but hats off to the Coalition and Splash Damage, the developers of Gears Tactics, for an excellent entry. And as someone who loves strategy games, particularly Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2, I think this is a great move, and I love that Microsoft now has strategy games kind of all over the place. You have your turn-based stuff in Tactics, you have your RTS stuff in Halo Wars and Age of Empires. They really have a whole lot going for them, and I hope they continue to build on what they have here. Maybe there's a Gears Tactics 2. It's way too soon to be sending out theories and rumors about, but I think this is so well made. There's no reason why this shouldn't get a sequel. But we'll see. I hope it happens. Please play it. Let me know what your thoughts are on Gears Tactics in the comments down below. And I'm going to be doing a playthrough of Gears Tactics on the channel. There'll be a card that will take you to a playlist that contains all of the Gears Tactics gameplay coming to the channel. Thanks for watching. I'm Andrew, and I'll see you next time.